Derek here, otherwise known as A-Team, otherwise known as Ubik. And I think that's just about covering all of the internet handles. What I've got here is a beautiful reproduction copy, straight from an actually surprisingly quality Etsy seller of Policenauts for the Sega Saturn, featuring the recent English patch. Well, recent meaning the last 2 to 3 years, developed by Junker HQ, who previously did the PlayStation patch. But of course, the Saturn is considered the definitive version of this game. I may be a little biased because I love the Sega Saturn. Nonetheless, here we are with this beautiful reproduction. I haven't been much of one for reproduction games. But I gotta tell you, being such a huge fan of this game ever since I played the English patch, and before that I was dying to play this game. Being such a big fan, having played the English patch, I said, you know what, I want this on my shelf. So without further ado, let's just take a little look at it here. With a lot of these reproduction games from different Etsy shops or from eBay, you just get low quality work. I mean, I've even seen stuff done with inkjet printers, which really just puts a bad taste in your mouth for the entire reproduction scene, if you will. But just looking at the exterior here, we can see that this is the same exact graphic that you'd find on the official Japanese Sega Saturn release. We've also got our spine graphic there and the back cover straight from the Japanese release, except we've got our text translated into English here with some nice screenshots. One thing I forgot to bring over to my table, which I will now go get, is the reproduction spine card. Let's go ahead and do that here. All right, take a look. Reproduction spine card, just like you'd get with a real official Saturn release. I mean, the attention to detail. This is glossy. It has the same sort of stock kind of feel and width to the real spine cards, maybe a little thicker, but nonetheless, it's attention to detail that really just kind of ties the whole thing together, but not as much as the full color glossy manual that you're about to see. So let's open up our case here. Oh, very nice. So the discs themselves have a nice glossy print straight onto the disc. It's not light scribe style or anything like that. It is glossy. It's got a nice sheen to it. This part down here, the bottom kind of 4th or 5th of the disc, typically a real Saturn disc, this is actually going to be the the silver top that'll give you a little bit of a sheen. So maybe from a distance it's something of an illusion. It kind of looks like it might be that way, but in fact it actually is still just part of the graphic. Nonetheless, it is it's beautiful. If we get a little closer here, we can see the quality of the print. Got our English translation there. It's really a high DPI, high quality print here. And this is the exact insert that we'd have behind disc 1. Here's our manual, which we are going to wait just a moment to take a look at. Let's put this back. Keep this moving here. Disc 2, same thing, nice high quality prints. And we've got our insert back there as well. So you can see it really is, a nice print. Now, the actual manual, which, honestly, this particular Etsy seller mentions the full color manual, but they never actually show us pictures on the item page. But, this is printed in the same type of high quality fashion, same high quality style. If anything, the aspect ratio might be slightly off, and the image was skewed a bit when it was stretched this way. You can kind of see everything's a little too narrow, but hey, let's not split hairs here. And on the back, we've got this, excuse me, we've got this nice image. So this looks to be page for page identical to the real Policenauts manual. This isn't Japanese. It wasn't all translated to English. Got staples along the spine here. You can already see from me just turning the page that it is nice glossy. It's a thick stock on the cover. It does say Reproduction here. It's got a watermark. Now, the manual itself, honestly, it's not printed as high quality as the rest of the case, but considering the quality of the case and its inserts and inlays and covers, you know, it's really not much of a critique on the manual. I mean, you can even see here on this shot, it's pretty crisp and clear. Only when you have the naked human eye looking at it can you see it's slightly, I don't even want to say blurry, it's not as sharp, you know. So everything's in Japanese. You can have some fun with the Google Translate app though, and do live OCR-based translation. These screenshots appear to be from the 3DO version because they are, it's hard to tell from maybe this video, but they appear to be pre-FMV screenshots. Got all the instructions on the button layout, usage of the Sega Saturn mouse, the light gun for the shooting scenes, which I've never tried, and being that I've got an LCD television, I don't know if I ever will. Not sure what all this is about. Some information here on the shooting range for practice. Menu information. Information on switching discs, so it is a multi-disc game, of course. Some information on the actual sort of UI and what does it mean to sort of iterate through all of the different entries on the menus for interacting with objects in your environment and other characters. One thing that's really cool, which, you know, when I first played the English patch, there comes to a scene or a point of the game, rather, where you have to reference this page from the manual that contains all of these family crests, as the game calls them, these Japanese family crests. I don't know enough about Japanese culture and cultural studies and heritage to say whether or not these are legitimate family crests. This one looks a little bit Celtic to me, but I'm not too sure. I'm Italian, what do I know? And anyway, the part of the game where you actually select, or excuse me, the part of the game where you are put in a position where you have to match or identify the different crests with their name, you know, this page from the manual will allow you to finally do that. When I played it the first time, as I was starting to say before I interrupted myself, when I played the English patch the first time on the Saturn, I had to use something from GameFAQs or some other resource online to, you know, to match up the crests with their names for that. I think it was some kind of puzzle portion of the game. So it's pretty cool that, you know, I just started my second iteration of this game, my second playthrough. Well, my third playthrough, but this will be the second time that I complete it from start to finish. I'm determined to complete it again, even with my crazy schedule. And it'll be really cool to have this manual by my side when I get to this part. We've got a little character bios here. We've got Jonathan Ingram and Karen Hojo. Oh, don't forget Edo Brown. Yes, gotta love the Japanese pronunciation of these names. Tony Redwood, good old Gates Becker. And we've got, of course, our paisan from NYPD, Salvatore Toscanini. And who else do we have here? Is that Tokugawa? Yes, it is. Oh, and there is Dave and Meryl of Metal Gear Solid fame. Chris, the hospital director. Lorraine Hojo, Karen's mother, Jonathan's ex-wife, who apologizes to him for remarrying, but really, I mean, Karen. That'll be like Henry Hill from Goodfellas. Karen! Karen! No, but really, you thought the guy was dead. What did you know? You have no apologies to make, Karen. You know, Jonathan should be happy you remarried. Anyway, I'm getting way off track here. You can tell that I've given this game too much thought. Anyway, we're getting towards the end. We are at the end. Got a nice list. These are going to be the voice actors, I'm pretty positive. And here's our terminal page, our final page, sporting our lovely True Motion Duck Corporation imagery. So, that is that. That is our little tour of the Policenauts English reproduction from Etsy. Hope everybody who actually had some interest in watching this enjoyed my short video. You can tell that I am in no way any sort of professional YouTuber or content creator by any stretch of the imagination on this planet or any other. But I know that people have been very excited about this game for years now, especially as the Saturn increases in popularity with the retro and also collecting community. So I really just wanted to kind of showcase this item. I was so excited to have it arrive in the mail that honestly I've put it on a place in my shelf where I'm sitting on the couch. I can navigate my eyes over to it at any moment and just look at it in all of its beauty and say, they're police, they're astronauts, heck, they're Policenauts. And with that, I'm signing off. Goodbye, everybody, and remember, Sega Saturn, Shiro!